What's up YouTube? Gravy here, and today I am bringing you my review of the Nerf Mega Blaster, the Rotofury. Now, some of you are asking, what is the Rotofury? Well, it's this. No, I'm kidding. What it is, it's a 10-dart Mega Blaster. You have a 10-dart drum here. Now, it would have been cool if they did come out with another clip-fed blaster. However, Nerf has said that no more Mega Blasters are going to come out with clips. So Centurion's going to be the only one. And I still would like to get one of those despite all the horror stories, just because it looks so cool. But that's neither here nor there. Right now we're talking about the Rotofury. I'm going to go over the externals of it, the function of the blaster, a couple of things I found a little wrong with it. We'll do the internals, and then my final thoughts. So, aesthetically, this looks just mainly like most of the other Mega Blasters. You have the primarily red paint job, orange accents. You also have the dark gray, almost like kind of a gunmetal in the dark spots here, which is actually pretty cool. You have 3 sling mounts, one at the front, one at the back, top back, and one in the handle, or the grip. Now, surprisingly enough, though, there's a little bit extra white in here, I guess you could say, than I would normally have guessed. Just because the sling mounts are white to begin with, but also the grip has this white inlay in it, and none of the other Mega Blasters really had that. It was either, this kind of gunmetal or a dark gray. And really the only parts of the blasters that were white were the strip, the lettering, if that, and the Mega word, or the word Mega. So this actually has a little bit of extra white in it, which I'm a little surprised with. It also has a very large tactical rail on the top. It goes from here to here. However, you can only use this part. So why they made it so god-awful long is beyond me, but I don't know. Anyway, going on to the functions of the blaster now. This front grip here is actually what you use to prime it. You slam the handle back, slam it forward, and you fire. This does have slam fire built into it. However, you cannot multi-prime this thing, which is something I'm hopefully, when we open this up, I'll be able to see, because there's also another thing that kind of irks me about this blaster is loading it. Now, I have no problems with a front-loading or a drum-loading blaster. One of my favorite things is the rough cut, which is front-loading, and I have no problems with the Cyclone Shock or the Hammer Shot or anything like that. However, this thing is a bit of a pain to load because you have 10 slots, 3 that are very easily accessible on both sides. So 6, you're able to load 6. Now your question is what about the other 4? Well, you have to rotate the drum. However, this is what happens when you rotate the drum. It makes a very loud clicking noise, and that kind of worries me a little bit as to how durable is that going to be, because as we all saw in my review of the crossbolt, playing around with a lock, I broke something. So, the other thing is, if you rotate it the opposite way, it makes even a louder noise. And I really don't like that. Function is grip, pull back, forward, pull trigger, and it rotates on the prime. So when you pull it back, it's rotating, and when you pull it forward. Now, a good function would have been is to actually not have a priming lock and just be able to prime it. Okay, you have a primed shot, but then be able to cycle through the drum like that. Where, like I said earlier, this does have slam fire, so you can fire off multiple shots pretty quickly and all. However, it's not that great, just because I always say slam fire isn't really good for anything more than 12 shots. 10 shots, it's the exception since it's a Mega Blaster, and this is also kind of like a hip-firing shotgun. The overallness, we'll wait till we get to my final thoughts because I'm starting to kind of go there. I think I've gone over everything on the outside of this blaster and its function. So let's take a look at the inside of the blaster, see what makes it stick, and then I will come back to my final thoughts. Okay, so for sake of time, I've already opened up the blaster, and I've already found one major thing I'm annoyed with, is the front grip here. You can't see it here, but I'm going to show you when the shell is open, is that this is actually screwed in. So, which also acts as kind of a guide for the top part of this, which is just a gigantic pain in the ass when you're trying to open it. So just remember, when you're trying to rip off your front grip, please remember that it's screwed in on both sides. Just separate it and slide one piece out the best you can. Okay, so now going on to the crux of the blaster, and holy shit. So, yeah, this is a thing. So, we have this rod here, which goes through here to prime everything the way it looks at. Yeah, it pushes this back and everything. And it looks like this might be, well, it looks like, yeah, it looks like there's no getting around the horrible, horrible noise this thing makes, because this here is your rotation mech guide piece, and I think it's also the lock for the slide prime. The rest of it is here. You have the trigger, which doesn't actually have a return spring. It has a built-in piece of plastic lever, which in turn activates this little thing, which in turn moves this, which is your catch. And then for priming it, you have this wonderful, god-awful gearbox thing, because, again, the orange rod pushes in here, which goes through the rotation mech, which moves this wonderful bar here, rotating, allowing you to rotate here, and doing God only knows what in here to prime back this here. So, there's that. I know Clowny blew his up. So, I am not taking apart that gearbox because I have absolutely no desire to put it back together tonight. I have no idea what the hell that is. It looks like you can kind of plug a little bit of a plunger seal there. Yeah. So, that's a thing. Well, you can see where Slamfire is. You just hold this down and it just keeps the catch from engaging, so you have that. So, yeah, that's the internals of the Rotofury. Damn, I wish I did listen to Clowny now. So I'm going to put this back together, and then I'm going to give you my final thoughts on it. Okay, so my final thoughts on the Rotofury. Over and all, for what it is, it's pretty cool. It's a 10-shot shotgun-style Mega Blaster. Now, Mega Blasters are just inherently fun to use. Recent war I was at, we decided to have Megas around. I rocked my Magnus and my Cyclone Shock, and it was just stupid fun. So, I mean, that's basically what these things are. You're not going to be, tacticaling, sniping elite with this thing, but you know what? When you got a horde of zombies or a couple of guys rushing you, you know what? Holding down the trigger and letting 10 mega darts just fly willy-nilly, it's just pure joy. As far as modding potential goes, you saw the horror that was in this thing. Clowny, I don't know why I didn't listen to you, but chances are I am actually not going to mod this. I am most probably going to wind up leaving this one stock and just using it as a ridiculous Mega Blaster, which is what it is. Over and all, this thing normally retails for about $30 at Target. With the holidays coming up, you are going to get a couple of good deals. I think Walmart's running a special where if you get this, you get a the big shock, that the Mega Jolt with it. So I mean, you get a $7 device with it. I think it's currently on sale at Target for a couple of bucks off of it. So really, it's entirely up to you. I like it. If you like the Mega Blasters, definitely pick this up. I mean, basically all it is it's a pump action cyclone shock, really, with a couple extra shots. So that's my overall review of the Rotofury. Modding potential is very limited, but the fun factor is definitely there. So I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, throw me a like and subscribe. Leave me a comment down below. Let me know what you thought of this, and I will catch you guys next time. Later.